Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beyond 60 Living. If you didn't know this about me, I am a ferocious absorber of information and stories. I love to read. That's not even the only bookcase, I love to read. I love books. I love information. I love audiobooks. I consider audiobooks books. So to me, it counts as reading. I think it's just something that is super important in life. It always has been. It literally my entire life. It always has been. But I have been doing a lot of reading lately, specifically about this stage of life, because this is the first time I've been here, I'm trying to kind of get a peek into the door to see what I'm walking into. And I wanted to share this book with you today. I mentioned it, I think, right when I started this channel. I have been going through this book kind of slow and steady because I want to make sure to really think about the information that's in here. I think it's a good book. Yeah, I do. And this is Barbara Pagano's book of the 60-something crisis. Did you know there was a crisis? Yes. I thought we would talk a little bit today about what I found in this book and things that you can do to, make sure that you don't fall into the trap, because they're there. Now, I came across a term in Barbara Pagano's book that it literally stopped me dead in my tracks. It really did, because it made me stop and think and go, wow, yes, this is exactly it. I think I've said offhandedly a couple times, pardon me, that I know, and I have known people that they worked hard their entire life and then they hit retirement, and then they literally just sat there and waited to die. And I knew that that's what I didn't want. I want to live every ounce of my life all the way to the last day, So that has always kind of been a worry about mine. And the way that she put this, I think, just makes so much sense. And so I'm going to totally cheat and look at my notes here. But it's that moment when, first, she calls it the slow glide. And I'm like, ooh, the slow glide. Yeah, it's not as good as you think. So the slow glide, it's that moment when you hit 60 or retirement, or you're an empty nester all of a sudden, right? And you just exhale. You tell yourself that I've worked hard, I've earned the right to sit back and be comfortable. Yeah. And while that sounds like a reward, Pagano warns that for many of us, the slow glide is actually a trap. And I love this, this theory. It's where our ambition stalls and our world starts getting smaller. It shrinks. We settle for a life that's just good enough instead of extraordinary. Don't we all want an extraordinary life? I don't know about you, but I didn't get to 60 to just fade out. That is not my game, okay? So today I thought we would talk about why our 60s are actually more of a portal than an exit ramp, okay? I love a good portal to an adventure. It's fantastic. I want to share how we can take that 30-year bonus that we've been given, thanks to, modern medicine and all that fun stuff, and use it to build something new instead of just coasting on what we've already done. Whether it's my 59-day challenge or my 27 before 27, I'm fighting that slow glide every single day, every day. And I want to show you how you can too, because everybody can. Absolutely everybody. So let's dive into what this crisis, really is, and how we can turn it into our greatest season yet, because that's important, How do we actually stop the slow glide? If you have already, you've already hit 60, you've already retired, or your nest is already empty and you find yourself in that slow glide, how do we stop it? Or if you're coming up to it, how do we stop it? Just make it stop and go away, because it's really easy to fall into that before it becomes our permanent state. That's not what we want. So Barbara Pagano suggests that we stop looking for like a roadmap, and I'm guilty for that. Just tell me what to do and, I'll get there. Yeah, no. Start looking for your desires. And I love this. Yes, it's going to get me in trouble, I can tell. And that's fantastic. So we're going to talk about 3 ways that you can start doing that today. And I'm super excited. I'm super excited. Number 1, you need to identify your 30-year bonus. Now, what are you talking about a 30-year bonus, Lisa? Your 30-year bonus, literally, is just the additional time theoretically offered you today, okay? So first we have to manage our math. And, maths all the time. Our grandparents' generation did not have the longevity that we have now. That's our extra 30-year bonus right there. We have been handed a 30-year bonus, and that's seriously a lot of life to just sit through, to just sit in front of the TV. And there's a million ways to justify that action, but it's still 30 years? Really? So what you need to do is you need to ask yourself a simple thing. If I knew I had 30 years of high energy, and perceive that how you want, and clear thinking, okay, what would I start today? 30 years of high energy and clear thinking. Yeah, the list is endless. Don't think about what you should do. Those items do not go on this list, okay? Think about what you've been putting off because you thought that you were too old to start something new. That's where your extraordinary life is hiding, right behind that little door. And that's a shame because it wants to be seen really, really bad. So 2 would be to audit your yield. She wants me to audit more. Yeah, this one is not as hard as you think, okay? In our 40s and 50s, the yield, that we received was usually a paycheck or raising a family, you know what I mean? But in your 60s and beyond, Pagano says we need a new kind of return on investment, a new ROI. And being able to redefine what your return on investment is, oh yes, that's why you need to audit it, okay? So is your day-to-day life giving you intellectual stimulation? And I'm not just talking about the crossword puzzle, okay? Is it giving you creative expression? Because we all need to be creative at something. Is your only yield right now comfort? Is that what you're getting? Is that your return on investment? Is just comfort? You're in the glide if that's the case, okay? So for me, this channel and things like my 59-day challenge and my 27 before 27, those are my yield. They keep me sharp. They give me a reason to push my boundaries, which I love doing. And they give me a reason to, just be motivated and active. So you need to ask yourself, what is your yield going to be? Don't go easy on yourself. Don't. Next, take a micro risk. Not a big one, just a little one, okay? Because the slow glide happens when you stop taking risks. We get protective of what we have, but in your 60s, we're actually at the perfect time to be more courageous because the stakes are different now, a lot different. You don't have to jump out of a plane, really, unless you want to, okay? I wouldn't call that a micro risk, but but you do need to do one thing this week. Pick it this week, one thing this week that just makes you a little nervous. Just a little nervous, okay? Call that person, sign up for that class, or finally start that project that you've been talking about for a decade. You know the one. Risk is the fuel that restarts the engine. It gives you that excitement. It gives you those butterflies that, depending on your perception, are either fear or excitement, because they feel exactly the same to your body, you know? So what is that one thing, that micro risk that you're going to do? I'm going to do this right alongside you. Absolutely. My list of 20 things to do before 2027 is becoming more and more filled with these micro risks, because that's what all of them are. They're just little micro risks, you know, and new yields as a result. And from those new yields, you'll find new little micro risks that you want to do, or maybe a few major ones. It's my way of saying no to the glide and yes to the extraordinary, because I want an extraordinary life. I want a life with joy and magic and excitement, you know? I don't want to be comfortable. I never want to be that comfortable. No. So I'd love to hear in the comments, I really would, which of these 3 steps speaks to you the most? Is it the 30-year bonus, the new yield, or taking a risk? Let's talk about it, because we're all going to go through this portal together. Yes, we are. Thanks for joining me on this journey.